again, we never know you for speaking the truth. In the bottom left, spawning as our blue Terran player playing for Team Shopify Rebellion. It's none other than ByuN.
In the top right, his opponent is going to be the red Protoss player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is herO.
Very cool. Look at that first pylon positioning out of herO. This is the type of stuff that you just absolutely love to see.
What do you love about it?
Well, it is not downstairs, and thus if it's a proxy Reaper, it's not going to be all that bad, because you know, if you put it downstairs and it's a proxy Reaper, your adept is going to be out of position. But it also doesn't create a wall. It's kind of, it has no real purpose. Like, no one really knows what this gateway is for, but it's herO who does it. So you know, you're like, whoa, that looks really cool. I can't wait to copy this in my games. But I'm not entirely sure why this is good yet. I guess it's like kind of in between, except then I just rather have a wall. You save a little bit of money of your probe not having to travel that far, and it creates something actually useful. I guess the one thing that does help is it might be slightly easier to build a lot of buildings next to it, so you can create a better Artosis pylon. Like, Artosis definitely approves of this.
It's the sickest Artosis pylon position ever, right? Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great plan, man. We just get our Artosis pylon set up early, and at least you know what you're going in for, right? Like.
Oh, it's with a proxy gate though. Then it actually makes some sense, because you kind of want to be close to the ramp. I like it a little bit more. I was trying so hard to make jokes here that I kind of missed the entire strategy.
So close to the ramp, but not like super crazy, like down on the low ground or anything. So
yeah,
just kind of an in between. And you know, obviously the other position is. Like, can you even Reaper wall on this map? Surely you can, right?
No, yeah, you probably can. No one really knows.
No one bothers.
But I feel like this type of pylon is only good if you end up canceling it. Now you just helped create a wall. Like, you're not going to build batteries here. So this pylon is actually wasted effort. I even believe that a tech lab and reactor is still going to be capable of going down in this space. So it literally has no purpose, just 100 minerals down the drain. We have this Reaper finding the Zealot, but it's going to straight up ignore it. I don't completely mind it, because it either forces the adept to stay at home, or it forces a battery. And as there's no battery, this Reaper could actually deal some real damage in the main base right now. I think this was an error out of herO, sending that adept straight away across the map.
Yeah, now he's going to be in a bit of a weird spot, as he's going to try and deny this bunker, but like you say, the tech lab can go down anyway. The only thing this pylon provides is high ground vision, which is something, but yeah, I mean, it just feels like this is a little bit of a mess. The tech lab can't be repaired, though. I mean, that's something to talk about. That's actually pretty sick. Maybe that's what we're all about here. Wow.
I hadn't thought of that, but then again, the tech lab takes 18 seconds to build. It's not really the end of the world. At the same time, this Reaper managed to kill, what is it, 3 workers?
Yeah, 4. 4 in total, so it's had a pretty good time. And yeah, I mean, like you say, if this was like a reactor that gets killed because it can't be repaired, big a deal. But yeah, tech lab, quick, cheap, easy. It's just got all the things, right?
Yeah, this feels really good for ByuN, honestly. Cyclone also popping out over here, and it's just helping out so much. Depot's gonna get repaired. Pylon will end up falling. If that Adept Shade finishes, I'll be upset. Thank the Lord it didn't. And yeah, this is... CC is gonna have the same timing here as the Nexus. The worker count is superior for ByuN. Tech is superior for ByuN. His overall unit count right now is a little bit lower, but the moment his first tank is out, I don't actually think herO can do anything anymore. Reaper still alive for scouting as well, so full on information, 1 more worker kill. This just feels really good, honestly, for our Terran player.
Yeah, Adept just goes down to the Cyclone as well, and this Cyclone, again, confident, you know, it can go down the ramp, it's not too afraid of the couple Stalkers, so just gonna try and get some free damage, get a lock on, force these Stalkers back if it can. And like you say, we're about to see a siege tank, man. Like, yeah, what do you do at that point? You have no way to get high ground vision, so the tank can siege right on the corner. It basically covers the ramp, or at least the majority of the entrance, so yeah, you're pretty okay here. And a Dark Shrine from herO as the follow-up, so I think he clearly as well knows this really hasn't gone well. He needs something a little bit crazy, a little bit more kind of, you know, decisive, and that Dark Shrine is definitely that over maybe trying to make it go into blink or so.
Yeah, I was getting really happy for ByuN as I saw the starport fly over to the tech lab immediately, but rather than a Raven, it's going to be a Cloak with a Banshee as well. I don't really mind it. I mean, he still has 2 command centers, but he needs to be careful with his scans, because a very stupid way to lose would be to die against invisible units while you're making your own invisible units. Stalker's actually in a little bit of trouble here, going to be backed into a corner. This was a mistake out of ByuN, I think. Perhaps going a little bit too hard here. Cyclone almost dies as well. Could still fall, but won't.
Just about stays alive. Gets 1 more Stalker out of this. First Banshee pops, doesn't really want to reveal the Banshee here. You'd rather keep that hidden for as long as possible, get across the map, hope there's no detection, which right now there is not, and then do really game-ending damage. So that's not going to be used defensively. This one SCV repair in the Cyclone as these two Adepts are going to get up, and that's a Scout, and they're into the main base. So ByuN letting those slip by. A little bit of a mistake from him, and these Adepts will start to get some SCV. So herO finally starting to work something here a little bit, getting some damage dealt. These Adepts will fall, but 4 SCVs later, I think that's A-okay.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world here for herO. It's nice that they get some damage in. Do we still have scans available? We have one in the natural, we have one in the main, and there's 2 DTs here. There comes the first scan. No DT will end up falling. So on the other side of the map, the Banshee's dealing a lot of damage, and with no robotics facility alive, and not even a single battery here, I think this is just pretty much going to be game over, Wardy.
Yeah, the Raven's on the way as well, so the DTs are not going to be an issue for long. There is the cloak, and we can just start to pick our way through a few more probes initially, and obviously go from there as well. Scans continue, the Raven's here, so again, DT's no longer an issue, and this should just be ByuN doing way too much damage. He wasn't target firing for a bit, so some wasted time, and we'll get back to those probes now. But he has forever with this energy on the Banshee as well. It's got about 40 seconds left before it's drained, so it's just going to be able to do what it wants. Finds a probe, maybe transferring back, doesn't get it. A little bit late there, but yeah, this game is fully in control for ByuN, and of course, look at the army supply. He can start to move over. He's not afraid of the DTs because of the Ravens, so defensive DTs are not really much of a thing here. There's no gateway upgrades such as the Blink or anything, so yeah, it's really just disastrous. And you even lose one of your gateways as well, which is half of his production right now in this game.
Yeah, it's not quite brilliant either. Yeah, GG is going to get called as ByuN takes map number 1 here on Waterfall. It is a Terran-favored map, but still a very nice win nonetheless. I think he's going to be pretty happy with that. It always really sucks if you pick your first map and you don't actually end up winning it. And it's one of the most painful things, I think, in StarCraft 2. Especially, you know, given that it is a best of 5 and it's going to be... you're going to have some of your best maps in there. Usually Waterfall probably is going to get vetoed, but not in this case.
Yeah, not in this case at all. So ByuN it's improved.
It's improved. Yeah. A 50% reduction there. Love to see it. And I guess it's also nice to know, you know, that someone hasn't arrived yet. There's no, you don't have to sweat as much. Like, it sucks on the day itself, but you know, when you're casting it, it don't matter anymore. So your mind is completely free.
Oh
you
yeah,
can put on your best performance possible.
That's like the most stress-free casting I've ever had, mate. Like, it's brilliant. There's always someone not showing up.
Yeah, I can imagine. I would not want to be an admin as well as a caster at the same time. It sounds like a hassle.
To be fair, usually after the first 5 minutes, it's fine. So,
you know what's also a hassle? Is walling on this map. Introduction, like, we don't do that. People can just look at the bottom of the screen, Wardy. Come on, get it together.
I'm getting it together right now. Try my best.
Yeah. No, let me tell you how to wall on this map. So this map has a wall against the Reaper that feels like it is not a correct wall. You know what I mean? So if you haven't walled in a while on this map, but for whatever reason you haven't played a Terran in 3 days on the ladder, because everyone's a Protoss player, like that could be, you could forget how to wall all of a sudden and you end up with a terrible wall. I've seen herO mess it up at least 2 times in the past 3 months. Really? But this time he did it correctly. So I just, you know, a little bit of background information that this game has been better than some of the others that he's played recently.
It's funny because I was casting a herO game earlier and he was playing against Solar, and Solar called him out for having a worse wall in his off race. And I was like, just you know, you just mentioned this. I'm like, man, he could have messed it up, then it would have been an even better story.
Yeah, it would have been fantastic, but it's not how it's gonna go. We do have, ooh, look at this. What is this? Reactor first
into the factory.
Into a factory. Yeah, and he stays with 3-2 in gas.
Yeah. Very aggressive compared to usually you'd be pulling out of gas right now to get an expansion down, right? So this is really going to be starport before we go any sort of expand, and that's going to be pretty even double Reapers. So
wow, it's the gas for the Reaper Wardies, unbelievable.
See.
You had a good read that the CC was going to be delayed, but then you messed it up in the next sentence.
Well, you know, 1 out of 2 ain't so bad. It's Christmas, you can give me a break.
We try to. That will be my Christmas present to you.
You can still afford to start. I guess he gets 2 more Reapers, right?
Yeah. But I think what he's going to do is he'll just legit get like 6 Reapers and then 3 Hellions, makes his way across the map, and we'll try and win the game with it. No, he's going to get a fast Stargate. Nice. I would have loved to see more Reapers though.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Just like the kind of the weird TvT-ish builds that we've been seeing a lot in this matchup. I actually do really like that. So there's going to be a double Reaper single Hellion. And it actually hits at exactly the same time as a regular double Reaper single Hellion. But this would technically allow you to build more Marines if ByuN wasn't supply blocked here. So I'm not actually sure what the purpose was now, because he got supply blocked and didn't build Marines for at least 18 seconds. So it feels like it's just... I guess you get one extra amount of Marines in. Maybe? It feels... Yeah, I guess you do. It feels like this should always go into a 1-1-1 push in that case. Yes. Otherwise, there's almost no purpose, right? Like, he's getting a bunker as well. He's really afraid of life. Holy crap.
Yeah. It's just so weird, right? Because it feels like everything he's building is going to be good defensively, but then, yeah, you build a bunker, you kind of sit scared, you've got the Widow Mine. Just everything points towards him wanting to play defensively, but that's not really what his build's all about. I guess he's skipping factory production for a bit for the Banshee and the Cloak, so maybe just the delayed tank makes him feel like he wants that bunker up.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, if you have a mine, that's pretty safe. You also could have just scouted if there was a natural. It's not like there's going to be any major attack. Ooh, that's a big hit there with the mine. It's really, really nice. I love that ByuN also just pretends like the Stargate doesn't exist. He built 4 Marines. None of them have been in the correct position at any point during this entire game. So I'm an enjoyer of that for sure. It shows that he probably is prepared or knows something about herO. Just his complete lack of opening Stargate, and especially his lack of opening with an Oracle, allows him to do things like that. Now we do see the mine heading in towards the main base, maybe trying to catch a Prism or something later on. And what is herO doing? Robotics facility finished up. Blink has finished as well, and there's a third base on the way. He's set up defensively with 8 Stalkers currently. 4 Stalkers in the main, 2 Stalkers in the natural, and 2 Stalkers kind of stuck in between the net and the third base. What's the chance that that these Banshees are gonna wait until there's 2?
I don't think so. Not for ByuN. With some players, sure. I feel like ByuN just wants to go straight away. Pops the Cloak immediately here, just gonna start moving forward, but we got double obs up. One of them is in the main base. This shouldn't be a hard pull to deal with this. Yeah, you'll lose a couple workers, but it's going to be a pretty quick cleanup. The Observer turns around. It's going to be 3 probes going down, making 4, but the Banshee's still sitting here is obviously dangerous. Finally, the Observer's in range. This Banshee just accepts that it was going to be pretty much dead. So 6 worker kills, slight probe pull. Pretty reasonable for the first Banshee, actually.
Yeah, it's very good. And the thing with a Banshee is that it's one of these units that you kind of forget exist because no one plays them. And then one guy will play it again and you're like, ah, right, that unit exists. And you'll be a little bit more careful again in the future, putting your Observer in the mineral line rather than in the dead space immediately. Second Banshee also gonna come in. Pretty sick mind game out of ByuN, and it could have worked. Like, he just went into the exact same position for a second time, and usually Terrans don't really do that. And I think ByuN even spotted that there was a battery going down as he went in with the first Banshee. So in that case, herO would kind of feel safe in that base and perhaps not defend it quite as well. So it's just a really interesting call for herO to leave his Stalkers there. I kind of like the mind game that ByuN was playing for. He's mentioned in the past that he's a huge fan of mind games in general, and that a lot of his play kind of revolves around mind games and trying to just outbrain his opponent. Well, in the past, I think he was mainly known for his sick mechanics and his micro specifically. Yeah, I feel like nowadays he's such a diverse player with a crap ton of build orders and a very good understanding of how all of these build orders really match up.
That's a fantastic way of putting it. He's really developed as a player, right? Over. No problem. I am here to compliment you. That's our job in our casted duo, right?
That's what I pay you for.
As I get you on to come cast.
Casters didn't have to pay you, or?
No, not really.
I was afraid of already.
Little Reaper Hellion dive. They go down. Units that are not really too useful now that there's pretty much a battery on every base, and yeah. It's not really going to do much with the setup that we're on, and we are moving into Storm as herO. Ben obviously never found the chance to commit with his Marine tank. I think that was fine to back away with. There was a fair few Stalkers. The Banshees had been dealt with, so they weren't keeping Stalkers out of position anymore. Now he'll just start trying to drop as his first upgrade's finished, and he's already going Ghost Academy as well against the Storm, but he's been seen... Oh, no, sorry. I thought that was something on the Watchtower. It was just the Observer, so he actually isn't seen with his drops. The Stalkers can't blink on it and intercept, and we are going to get the drop into the main. The Stalkers will come to respond at least.
That was actually insanely unlucky for herO. herO saw the drop move out with the Observer on the other side of the map, tried to intercept it and missed it by like legitimately like a millimeter on the with his vision. It was so sad. And as a result, actually, he's going to take a little bit of damage, still manages to deal with it, but has to reveal that he has Storm already. And although I don't think that ByuN was planning on doing anything wild, now he definitely isn't going to do anything wild. He's going to wait and sit until he has the enhanced shockwave, 3, maybe even 4 ghosts, and then perhaps consider moving out across the map. herO's... Ooh, look at that. His transition is going to be into second Robo and RoboBay, but for now we first have this little attack. Prism gets sniped, so do all of the Stormers. This was not a great attack here out of herO. It's in a lot of trouble right now. Archon is also going to end up falling. We still have the drop back in the main base too, as the battery is going to get sniped. Oi, 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 oi. herO in a world of trouble.
Yeah, this was kind of wild. It felt like everything on the attack came in and just, well, single file quite literally, but really in different portions. Like the first few units came in with the Prism, then the Prism died, and the next Stormer and an Immortal came through, and they kind of died, and then finally this final group of units showed up, and now we're going to have a Widow Mine to clean out the High Templar. The Immortal should get out alive at least. And obviously, like you said, during this, the drop was active, didn't do too much in the end. Looked like herO dealt with that well at least, so that's one thing. But yeah, herO losing out on quite a lot here in this game number 2.
Yeah, and the sad thing there is that he just had a really good position, right? Equal in supply, he was already transitioning. He had some upgrades. Yes, it's just a +1, but it's still something. And he definitely had the cash to go into a 4th base. But now the game, basically the momentum is back here. On ByuN side, Super Battery can still be activated, I do believe. Yes, there we go. As it starts spinning, Archon is going to stay alive for a lot longer because of that. What's in that Prism? 2 Templar. Do any of them have Storm? I hope so.
And this this Archon's been tanking so much damage. The Storms do come down out the Prism. Instantly morphs into a new Archon. We sniped one High Templar that was left over here, and the first Colossus is shown as well. So I think ByuN might have just gotten a glimpse that he definitely gets to see it again now, as long as he's paying attention. So seeing that transition coming up at least tells him that, and he immediately is going to start Vikings against it. That Archon, man, it put in some serious freaking work, didn't it? It was just right there, tanking everything. Widow Mine shots got healed up a second time. That Archon was fantastic.
Yeah. That Archon is called Harstem from now on because he's so cool. And he puts in a lot of work.
Alright, I'm
Let's see if there's any lazy units around, so we can also name something after you, Wardy.
Name something, Wardy. This probe here patrolling back and forth in the middle of the map. It's just like, ooh, wandering around.
No. He's exposing himself to danger. You would never do that.
Trying to give myself too much credit.
Yeah. Ooh. You're one of the probe in like the mineral mining. I don't think there's any idle ones, but I'll find someone for you. Don't worry about it, Wardy. As ByuN is going to continue moving across the map, and this is really what you want to do as well. If you're ByuN, you kind of ideally get 2 armies on the map. And then kind of split them up, have one army on the right side, one army on the left side, try to poke in, try to prod, see if you can do something, don't lose any units, and especially don't lose medevac. We see him transitioning into that 8 Rex play already with a planetary on the 4th base, 84 workers, really solid eco, and you want to continuously be trading out your cheap units and hopefully get something big in return. And then eventually, once you get your 2-2 upgrades, perhaps you can actually do something, maybe a big drop, maybe just a massive fight, because Marauders and Ghosts with plenty of medevac support and 2-2 upgrades are going to be having a fantastic time against the Protoss army.
Yeah, they absolutely are. These few Stalkers just still trying to poke around. Our 4 Colossus here, but we don't have... Is it an issue that he doesn't have many Vikings right now against 4 Colossus? I know he's got Ghosts and he can EMP this away, but 4's still got to be a little scary, right?
Yeah, if he was on the map right now with half of his army, he could probably kind of go for a base trade, but because he actually needs to defend with his army, it is a lot more scary. Terran is a lot better when they're not actually fighting the army, because their direct fight a lot of the time isn't that great. Really needs to stall till 2-2 right now, and he's trying his best for it. Get some good EMPs, Mines definitely helping out as well. 2 Vikings actually putting in some work already, and ByuN hasn't lost all that much supply yet. 2-2 finishes up right here, as if he's being pulled. A lot of these Terran units are being clumped up though. First Colossi does go down, as these medevacs seem to be rather empty. herO got some decent damage in, killed 16 workers, but I think he's got to be kind of happy with this, at least for now, not go in immediately again. Just kind of relax and wait. I don't actually think you want a straight up fight. I really don't think you want that here as herO. There's already 3 Vikings out, 4 more on the way, and once those hit and 1 EMP blankets your army, you're just pretty much dead.
Yeah, we're just going to see a Disruptor coming through, a couple of Ghosts. Oh, God, he's going to load up a lot of stuff, so he's going to kind of pretend, you know, that hero's not going to be able to respond to this, and might not if hero just pokes in a little bit, still sees the army, but doesn't see everything. The Observer might be the real tell, right? If you could get forward and see that this, you know, good chunk of stuff's missing. So ByuN off on an offensive push. Obviously, there's a pylon here that could spot this. This could have been maybe a surround as well, so herO has backed up, I think, being pretty smart about this. Obviously, the flexibility it gives ByuN, because now he can just turn this into a push across the map himself, but herO might just dive on the other half of the army now that he knows for sure.
Yeah, but I don't really think that herO can do that, yeah. He's forced to recall immediately here. Army in the middle, perhaps in a little bit of trouble. Disruptor tries to go for ByuN's army, will not quite get the connection. ByuN shouldn't stick around too long on that north side of the map. Will indeed pick up and try to fly away. Does lose one medevac. There's not actually that many medevacs providing healing for the southern army. So that's the second stim that we're seeing right now. Most of these medevacs are empty. Yes, there's a lot of Vikings with this, but I don't think this is a fight that ByuN wants. It's going to get a lot of these Marauders and Marines caught as well, as the drop on the left side returns back into action. Super Battery gets activated, and with a cannon and a warp, and I actually do believe that herO is going to be somewhat okay.
Yeah, a couple storms coming down. Just going to see Zealot, Stalker, Disruptor, Colossus all coming through, and, well, this, the Viking force doing what it can, but the Vikings are dropping quickly as well, and Disruptors kind of connect. On the other side, it just doesn't feel like ByuN's force is too scary with a few extra Zealot Warpins, maybe an extra Disruptor should be okay. And I mean, ByuN's already starting to lose out on a base here, and herO also has just a ton of money to spend, so if he can just warp in a bunch of Zealots, then that will be really good for him, and he's already in position to do that. And ByuN is obviously already in fear of losing his production here on the low ground. Gonna try for these Disruptors. He actually cancels the one that is gonna be a big shot, so that's a good save for him. The next Disruptor will just clean up the front. The flanking Disruptor denied as well, as we finally do begin to connect though. And ByuN's force is going down on his own side of the map, putting him into quite a bit of trouble here. herO will blink back the other side, try and clean up some of these air units. His reinforcements are coming back over too. He is losing tons of his Disruptors though. Only 2 remain. Without the splash damage, maybe for at least for a little while, he might get slowed down as he hits his own Zealots here. It looks like he is going to back it up just for a moment.
Yeah. Ooh, there was some good snipes there on those Disruptors once more, actually. I was really afraid of that for a sec, but ByuN survives, but in what state does he survive? And he has a main base flying over towards the 3rd right now. There's no 5th base yet. Well, herO already does have a 5th base going up. And on top of that, the one major advantage that he kind of was leaning on this entire game were his superior upgrades, which he hasn't been caught up with yet, but he also isn't increasing that lead. If he had +3 on the way, and let's say 75% done, I would actually say, you know what, ByuN might have a chance. If he doesn't get shot by Disruptors in the next fight, and he manages to get up to like 180, 190 supply, you're just going to be fighting 3-2 against a mere +2, and that should be really good for the Terran, especially given the fact that the army is actually still quite powerful. Like, there are ghosts, there are a lot of Marauders. herO's going to be moving forward right now, trying to snipe this 5th base. I think this might actually be a trade here, 5th base for a 5th base, and I'm not sure who I prefer that for, actually.
Yeah, it's a good question, right? As a few Zealots going to come in, wrap around. Let's see what ByuN loses. I mean, so far just fighting the Zealots. He can jump into the main as well, so he will begin to do that. The 5th base obviously does survive then for herO, so he lost a lot of probes though, something he has to rebuild into, and now the main base obviously still under fire, giving ByuN a lot of time to get set back up elsewhere. So now the main is pretty meaningless. There's 70 gas left here, so a little bit of energy lost on the Nexus, but mostly underwhelming.
Yeah, not the greatest thing. Does get the free pull away with these medevacs. Tries to go in towards the 5th base. We have a lot of forces of ByuN moving in from the left side as well. That's going to catch... Ooh, good pickup. It's going to catch these Disruptors and Immortals that are now kind of stuck and backed into a corner. Good redrop out of ByuN. This control has been absolutely bonkers out of ByuN, and I think he's picking up this game here, Wardy.
Yeah, just absolutely ridiculous, right? Just re-engaging at the right time, getting back across. You're just going to see this Nexus will go down. We scan up. Sees this army coming in, and he's just going to jump back into the main base. Now he does get blinked on, loses a medevac, I believe, but as he heads into that main, he's just going to come through with no recall available or anything. Again, he just kind of controls this area, and if he gets attacked in the main, he can maybe jump down to the 3rd base, for example, and he can just keep this up. Shuts down all of the gateways with that pylon going down too. So hero's going to struggle to reinforce. Never mind the fact he was already so low on probes that reinforcing was already an issue.
Yeah, ByuN needs to be careful. Units are running a little bit lower. There's still 4 Colossi on the map. Evacuating out of here might actually be a little bit tricky. Well, not if you kill every single Stalker, I suppose. At the same time, a left side army is coming in as well, trying to take out what was once the 4th base, and probably is still actually the 4th base. That's how it works. Was this the 3rd?
I don't know.
Wasn't it, Wardy?
Yeah, I think I called the other one the 3rd, but still the same at this point.
Yeah, they're all the same at this point. They're all equal to us, except the other one has more mineral patches, and thus most likely was indeed the 4th base. I can't believe that the Triple D worked again here for ByuN. It's pretty crazy. Now, what is the Triple D? I hear you think. That is the data seed doom drop. This is some modern day lingo, Wardy, that the Zoomers use. Because it's really common to see people die against the data seed doom drop. You can just kind of ping pong in between the bases. And it's not fun to deal with if you're a Protoss player. Which is why there are some tosses that just play Phoenixes every single game on this map. Or they don't actually enjoy playing this map, might even veto it. That was a really big EMP hitting all of these Colossi here. And I think this is just going to be a BS. And as he V-pull to make sure that everything survives. Good snipe there on the Disruptor. The control out of ByuN this game has been nothing short of magnificent. And that's going to be it here. Wow.
Yeah, just absolutely fantastic stuff from ByuN. The control was really good. There's definitely parts of this game that looked a bit concerning, but makes it happen, gets it done, and ByuN is going to take a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. So that does mean that the winner of this series will end up against herO in the semi-finals, which is obviously very exciting because that's either a very fun ZVT with ByuN, or it's a very fun ZVP with herO. And I think while herO is kind of favored perhaps against both those guys, maybe not so much against herO, they at the very least can both put up a good fight against herO, so I think that should be fun.
I don't think he's favored against ByuN. Didn't he get blasted last time he played?
He lost to him in Home Story, right?
Yeah.
He didn't get blasted though, it was like 3-2.
Yeah, that's kind of blasted though.
It's kind of blasted for herO.
Yeah, lost one more map.
Yeah.
What? He's just worse.
He's just worse.
Yeah, it's just worse.
Fair
It's so
enough.
obvious.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the Stargazers game that they played there?
No, I specifically didn't watch that one so I could cast it at some point.
Oh, that's crazy. Can I spoil it for you?
Yeah, of course, because I'll forget by
for-
the time I cast it.
It goes for a proxy 2-Rex on Stargazers. And it does something to me. When good Terrans actually proxy 2-Rex, against herO specifically, I think it makes me the happiest. Because then it just shows that he too is a human, you know? Sometimes you think, oh, why does no one 2-Rex herO? And then you see like the worst players 2-Rex herO and it doesn't work. But that's just because the players are worse. And then good players 2-Rex herO and he also just dies like a mortal. It's like, nice.
Nice reminder.
Yeah,
Feels
like
good.
truly no one knows how to beat this, but it's the craziest build in the world. I can't believe that this is still in the game.
Can't believe the patch didn't cover this one, huh?
Honestly, like it's actually crazy to me how good it is, and how consistently good it is at beating players way better, or beating players at an even level with extreme ease. Like, it is mental to me. It is absolutely bananas. There's no build like this that has been around for freaking 12 years. Even a build has been around for 3 years with this type of, you know, that induces
Power.
this level of fear and anxiety. But we're not casting that matchup at all.
Well,
Wardy. You should have stopped my train of thought way earlier. God, it's ridiculous.
Well, not, but this is kind of, you know, fairly standard for ByuN. He is playing 3-1 on gas, by the way, which is, I'm pretty sure, inefficient by the slightest of margins, so...
I bet you do it correct all the time in your ladder games.
2-2?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. In Dutch we have a proverb which is the best sailors are on shore.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're one of the sailors on shore. Wardy.
I'm one of the
It's
sailors
like,
on
I
shore.
can't believe he isn't doing the ultimate
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
here. When's the last time you were on a sailboat, Wardy? Have you ever sailed?
Once, quite a few years ago.
Really?
Yes.
Is it difficult?
Yes, if you actually want to go the right way, absolutely. I mean,
Did you go by yourself or with someone else?
No. We were like in a group, like just like small sailboats as well. On a lake.
Gotcha.
There wasn't much wind. It was pretty bad. We did a lot of paddling.
Irene was once part of a sailing club.
Really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
then she was in the Netherlands, and then they went to the north of the Netherlands, and they had to sleep on the boat. It was really cold. She quit after.
She quit. That was
I
it.
think so. She was like, "No, sure, I'm doing this again." Because
Wouldn't
the
mind.
thing is that was supposed to be like a fun weekend getaway, you know? She's
Yeah,
like, if
yeah.
this is what these people think is fun, then no shot I'm joining this club.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine you're part of like a football club or something, and they say, let's get away for a fun weekend.
Yeah.
And then you just go clean like a massive warehouse with 11 guys. It's like, well, this is not the club that I want to join for fun anymore. That's pretty much how she felt. It's pretty much how ByuN also feels about this game, I'm sure. He's not going to be too happy once the Oracle flies in. The moment the mines just leave the base. What is herO waiting for?
Is he really waiting for Oracle 2 before he commits? I think he might be, man.
That would be so cool. Like, actually, I would never have the balls for that, but herO just that's kind of insane. I hope he responds to the mines though, because yeah, he does. Well,
Yep.
Good.
One.
Very solid.
Second one doesn't go. Here we go. Oracle's going to activate, and these Marines in trouble. And the other two Marines were move commanding out away from the barracks, so these Oracles take no damage. There's no anti-air here, mate. We're going to have a few seconds of killing SCVs before this Cyclone is out at the very least, and ByuN really was the one that wanted to do a little bit of damage here, at least with the later expansion. Oh, he's got the Phoenix to lift up the Cyclone as well, so he can take it away and continue to just slaughter SCVs with these Oracles. Mate, he is, yeah, he's not having a very fun time. He is sleeping on a sailboat tonight in this game 3 at least.
Yeah, he's pulled on the sailboat right now already. Yeah, this is pretty much over. Funny thing was that on the other side of the map, during all of this, one of the mines that was about to get the shot of a lifetime, like legit 8 probes, actually got unburrowed. I think that ByuN just kind of, you know, had the habit of unburrowing it, and then, but he could have gotten a really, really sick shot. Now, don't get me wrong, it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, currently he has 1 Cyclone, 2 Marines, and a Raven, so he still would have died, but still it's interesting to note. herO takes his first win here in this best of 5 as the series continues on.
Specifically likes this map when typically it is a Protoss map. Typically we see Protoss players pick this a lot early in games, or early in series.
He plays it in best of 3s. I've seen him pick it. It's really not okay, you know that, right?
Yeah,
you know how bad Maru feels about this map?
What?
He plays mech on it. Like, that is how bad he feels about it. It's actually insane. I'm not even joking. He legit plays mech on this. You know, like, there's actually no point in playing this map. It's like I have a higher chance of winning with mech than with anything else. He plays like some mass mine drops or something, or he always plays bad builds on this map because he just doesn't believe in the map. ByuN, however, I've seen him pick this in best of 3s. That is a crazy thing to do. Like, I can kind of feel that it might be okay for Terran, but there is no way that it's ever going to be the best map in a best of 3. That is legitimately impossible in this matchup. But then again, he didn't do it this time. Well, whose map is this? Now, this is herO's map, actually. Yes. This is herO's second map pick. herO preferring Data Sea over Stargazers also is kind of a revelation that I didn't think I was going to get today.
Sometimes you just like getting triple D'd, what can I say?
Yeah, I do love that as well. No, actually, I truly never enjoy. I don't think there's a single Protoss that enjoys getting the triple D. It's just not very fun, Wardy.
Yeah.
It really is just not very fun. Now, we do have a double gas opener here. Reaper. This is one of the things as well that pisses me off out of ByuN. Some people have a range of build orders, you know? ByuN doesn't really have a range. He's like... He just has all of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's like the Wikipedia of builds.
Yeah. He really is. And look at this. He scouted the gold as well, because he knows that herO is a bit of a clown sometimes. And he didn't get scouted himself, so he's like, alright, let me just make sure that nothing weird is going on. I played against ByuN on this map in a show match on your channel, actually.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
And he proxied his third CC on the gold.
Yeah, slightly.
You know what I was thinking while I was playing?
Yeah.
Man, this is the worst build in the world. Can't believe his factory is this late and he only has 3 racks. And I actually remember thinking, man, I gotta tell him that this build sucks after I beat him. He destroyed me. There's actually no chance.
Was that when you knew about the gold? Did you know about the gold, or do you not know about gold?
No, I didn't know about it at all.
Yeah, you found out like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, I thought he just sucked. I was like, man, this is garbage. This is the easiest win of my life. I was so far ahead. Oh no. To be fair, even with the gold not being scouted, the build still was pretty bad. And I considered telling him about it, but then I was like, hey, you can't really, if you get 0-3'd by someone, you can't tell them that all their builds suck. It just sounds like you're a bit jealous of their score, you know? So I decided to just keep it to myself.
That was one of those... I was gonna say,
I'm not done with my story yet.
Oh, shut up then.
Yeah, invite me to cast, keep interrupting me. It's ridiculous. I was telling this the other day, I think to Dario as well, where sometimes I play against, maybe it was even to you, sometimes I play against ByuN and he plays a really bad build order and he gets really far behind in the early game, but then he still wins the game. And you can't actually tell him anymore at that point that his build sucks. And he'll be like, oh, pretty good build. No, I'm like, no, it's hot garbage, ByuN. Please stop playing it. No matter what you do, don't play it in a team league, because I don't want to be a victim of this garbage. You see him play it next time and he gets absolutely destroyed by Zaun or something. I'm like, I wish he would have listened to me, but this is my main motivation for getting better, so that I can tell him when his builds suck. Talking about things that suck, this really sucks for herO here. Losing a lot of workers to these 3 Reapers. I'm not quite sure what happened, but 3 Reapers get in, kill 10 probes. A little bit of an unfortunate interaction. Now, there is some counter possibility. I often say that Phoenixes are very similar to economy in a way that you can almost always trade Phoenixes and Oracles in to just kill workers. So if you want to, you could probably kill 4 or 5 workers. You'd maybe lose your air units, but at least it's something. These 3 Adepts actually getting a free kill here. If they could potentially shade on top of these Marines and one-shot, that would be pretty big. No, there's no lift available on these Phoenixes.
Oh. That's such a shame, because that could have been obviously just... They could have kept this entire attack going, right? If these Cyclones are up in the air, the Marines keep dying, Cyclones come down, maybe you have another lift, and... Yeah, just... Everything could have been so different, especially as you got even more Adepts coming across the map as herO, and he's very committed to just a bit of Phoenix Adept right now.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of Adepts. It's still 4 Adepts. We now have at least... We actually have 4 lifts soon, and the Oracle's going to be capable of fighting as well. I think this is still completely fine for herO. If you can get some damage done here, lift one of the Cyclones that's going to die. Not good target fire out of ByuN. One Phoenix stays alive with 1 HP for way, way too long. This is going to cost ByuN a lot of his workers and a lot of his army units as well. Still one of my favorite things in the world is seeing mules be pulled against Adepts. Of course, way better to let the mules continue mining. It's actually really, really expensive, and it's a major error that almost every single Terran player makes. But it's insanely expensive. That probably cost him 100, 125 to 150 mineral or so. Once again, just pulls these mules off the line immediately here, and SCVs are being sniped by these Adepts. I think this push might come to an end, you know, kind of soonish. I think there might just almost be enough production. The moment the next Cyclone pops and the next round of Marines, I do believe that this could get pushed back, but this completely turned the game around. herO's taking a gold as well over here. We don't have any follow-up tech yet, but perhaps it's possible here for ByuN to finally establish himself in his own net.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, right? You're fighting over your own natural. herO's taking a gold base. Cyclone gets lifted up again, so the Phoenix pretty much always just killing those off, and every time that happens, SCV's pulled to repair, or at least try to. The Adepts get more kills, and ByuN is just getting absolutely bullied here. As herO is going to finally lose out on his Adepts. The last one in the main base should go down, but 42 probes to 30 SCVs. We are on Stimpak at least, even if we don't have a lot of Marines to show for it, and obviously no starport in sight, so no medevacs for healing or anything. I think herO just needs to calm down a little bit, though, right? Because if he keeps throwing Adepts away, I feel like there is potential for a counterattack from ByuN. If he just starts to truly build up and get set now, he should start to look better. He's actually going to come in and lift up the Marines here as well, so just, well, resetting the Marine count is obviously pretty great, too.
Yeah, I don't really mind it. I do believe that at some point in the future, you want to start adding more gateways. Especially once you get closer to charge and armor finishing. But if you can keep the Marine count low, there's actually no danger whatsoever. And your Phoenixes, of course, become better and better. Now, 7 Phoenixes still alive against a mere 8 Marines, 4 of them in a bunker in the natural. So that means that whenever herO feels like it, he can just pick off one of these Marines without really losing anything. I really would prefer if he were to focus on killing units rather than workers right now. Because it feels like it's pretty obvious that ByuN is going to have one push, and that is going to be it. So killing workers doesn't actually help all that much anymore. Your eco is already completely secure. You need to think about your army size right now, and I think that's exactly what herO is doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just gonna conserve a little bit. ByuN is gonna finish up his upgrade, but I mean, what can ByuN even do without a starport, right? Like, he'd have one push across the map, and yeah, I mean, herO is getting an extra gateway up at the front. Remember, he's powered by the gold at this point too, so as he hits charge and +1, pretty sure you can swarm anything that ByuN can produce, and he's already swarming him in economy as well, so yeah, just across the board looking pretty great. And yeah, it just doesn't feel like ByuN's going anywhere, right? Like, extra 2 barracks and still no starport. I'm not a believer, man.
Yeah, he's gotta have one stim.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately one shot. One opportunity. To stim everything that he ever wanted. We capture it. Or let it slip. Yo. It's losing so many Marines there. This is actually really painful. If I were ByuN, I would just leave, honestly. Like, yeah. I think staying in is worse for you.
Yeah, mentally. Just getting bullied.
Yeah, this feels awful, and you know that there's legitimately no chance. It's not like there is a little bit of a chance. There's like no chance anymore. I hate staying in games that are 100% lost. I understand that some people stay in because they're not entirely sure of the position. Don't forget how confusing this game must have been for ByuN. He killed like 13 workers in the early game, then got completely blasted. He doesn't quite know what was done in the return, right? So it is really difficult to do.
Yeah, he just scans the natural here as well. Has a look. He's going to start moving out. This is going to be his one attempt. His SCVs will be pulled. And, well, herO is actually just sat in the middle of the map waiting to greet him, which when you're trying to 2-base all in and your opponent's right here, ready to fight, probably isn't a very good look. He's actually going to take this fight, but 4+1 as well, so even worse for ByuN. As herO does charge forward, he gets the lifts on the tanks, so it really is just Marines, but like you said before, these Marines can't stim a second time, and these Archons are just going to get them, and Zealots will keep charging through. And yeah, ByuN is in a lot of pain, a lot of trouble, and all of a sudden, it's 2-2 tied up in this best of 5.
Yeah, and that's definitely trouble for ByuN here.
They do. You know, I haven't had them on all
Christmas
series.
Day.
Yeah, you're going to tune in just for this.
Yeah, literally just for that. Because I already watched the games now.
Well, yeah. In the Netherlands, do you guys celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, or is it like a?
We have two Christmas days.
Do you do 2 Christmas days? Do you? But is that Christmas Day and Boxing Day, or like the second?
25 and 26.
Yeah. So that's Christmas Day and second Christmas.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who invented this, but it was actually very, very smart.
But not the 24th then, because I know Germany does everything on the 24th.
So the thing is that because of the Americans, we also started moving to the 24th. So soon we'll have 3 days for Christmas. It is
Christmas
actually
days?
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Christmas Eve, then we have first Christmas Day and second Christmas Day. It is such a beautiful setup. I'm a huge fan of how we do it.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was always hoping that we would get, more holidays just for school. And now they're making it happen. We're just taking more and more holidays. And it's so good.
Soon you'll get American Thanksgiving off just because it's like pre-Black Friday. It's just a thing.
Honestly, I feel like that in 15 years or 20 years from now, it wouldn't completely surprise me if we'd have some sort of like derivative of Thanksgiving in the Netherlands around that period, which is more centered around Black Friday than anything.
Well,
it honestly wouldn't completely surprise me. And I would be a huge fan of it as well.
Oh, more holidays? So just...
Yeah. I think it sounds good.
But do you even need the holidays? It's like...
No, but it's for... I remember how much I cared about it when I was a kid.
So you just caring for the other kids?
Yeah.
See.
It was one of my favorite things, was holiday. I freaking loved holiday, dude. Especially in high school. I think in elementary school, I didn't care as much. Although the hours in elementary school were also crazy. I can't believe how long we had to spend in school every day.
Really? How long?
Like, I feel like we went there at like maybe 8 or so, and we left at like 3:30.
Damn. That's like a proper school day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then in high school, there were days where I could leave at like 2 or at 1. Sometimes I could leave at like freaking 11. Especially in the final years, it was insane how little school you actually had.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
I didn't have
I miss those days.
I didn't have that at all.
Oh yeah, private school, I keep forgetting.
Yeah, our school was long. I got there every day at like 8 a.m. I left at like 4 p.m.
Every day? But you also did fun things, didn't you?
Like what?
I don't know. I don't know how private school works.
Yeah,
I went to the pleb school.
We went on some cool trips and stuff, but it wasn't like fun during the day, It was still school.
Yeah, sure. One day I'm going to infiltrate into a private school. I'm going to figure out how it is.
Yeah.
I bet it's real good.
Come back and flame me.
Yeah, come back and flame you then. Look at this Zealot. This has to be the slowest Zealot. This Zealot would be perfectly in time to meet the first Hellion, if a first Hellion was ever built. I can't believe that this timing is a thing. If he kills any workers with this, I'm going to be extremely upset.
There's just no way. There's already 6 Marines here. I mean, the Adept's on the way. I just don't know what the Zealot's doing at all. Let's the Adept get up the ramp. Oh, sorry, it's Stalker. It's 2 Stalkers coming in, so it keeps the Marines off the high ground for the Stalkers to get up initially. Cool.
Maybe that was the plan.
Yeah.
If that was actually the plan, that's a very high tier move. Just straight up moved in with 3 Stalkers. Okay, that actually was the plan. This might have been the coolest move that I've seen in my entire life.
Ooh, loses high ground though and stepped a bit too far forward, so just lose one of the Stalkers after killing 3 Marines. We still like it?
No, well, the result was bad, but I like the thought of it. Sometimes I judge something. Yeah, I can appreciate this still. Because the Stalker micro is just not super tight. If you had micro this tight, and then you have another Stalker coming in as well, it has potential to straight up win the game, and that's the beauty of herO, is that he has a lot of little tricks that maybe put him back like a little bit, but have the potential to just straight up win the game. And this was one of the tricks. Now the trick didn't work out, and it would be dumb of me to say that that's a bad thing to do, because this is just kind of his play style. He throws a lot of spaghetti at the wall,
and then
he sees what sticks.
Yeah.
And the spaghetti that sticks, what's with that?
Oop.
Yeah, but you also can't eat it anymore. You just threw it at the wall. It's just a terrible way to go about it.
But you only throw one bit, though. It's not like you throw the whole pan.
You don't? That explains a lot. What also explains a lot is these Marauders in the bush. This was a 3-Rex opener here coming out of ByuN. There are 3 sentries ready. One of them has Guardian Shield, and as this is a double force field ramp, this build is less likely to actually succeed. The follow-up is going to be straight up charge after this blink. Look at the worker count, though.
Yeah, very close. In fact, ahead for the turn, which is obviously way better than it usually should be. Obviously, Protoss like to have that 5-6 worker buffer at least to just make up for the fact that the mules.
Yeah, the interesting thing here is that as long as the resources lost remain even, I actually kind of like this for ByuN as well then. Like, if you lose every single unit and you're down in workers, that sucks. But here it's like, well, resources lost, you're maybe down 200. It's not the end of the world. It's not great either, but it's definitely not the end of the world. Then you have tech on the way already. I mean, you have your starport coming up, you have your reactor on the way, and you have pretty decent eco. What I don't like, however, are these 2 extra barracks. And I'm gonna explain to you why, Wardy. Actually, I'll give you a guess why I don't like these 2 barracks.
Why? Oh, I get a guess?
No, I'll give you a guess. That's not how a guess works.
Oh, because they're before the starport, or because they're... I actually have no idea.
Because these units will not kick in before the first 2 medevacs are out. Unless you just build 2 naked marines without reactor or tech lab. So your initial pressure is not going to be much stronger, but your CC is significantly delayed. Which means that any of the SCVs that you're building right now will be oversaturating, rather than what should have been happening is that they should have been mining at a way faster third base, which honestly could have been probably done at this point.
Yeah. I feel like my first guess was going in the right direction. I just panicked.
Your first guess was to ask me to tell the answer, Wardy. Your second guess was you did the correct direction.
I didn't quite, my brain didn't quite compute what you said for a moment. So I was like, my instant go-to is just look for help.
Private school truly was wasted on you.
Yeah, a little bit. Alright, medevacs will actually load up some of these units, and the stalkers going forward will notice perhaps that those medevacs have just slipped away. The medevacs will quickly come back. herO has a gate on the right, a gate on the top, so he's guaranteeing himself a gateway to go up here. So counterattack potential is huge, and he will be able to counterattack either third base if ByuN for some reason took the right side one instead of the forward one. Hallucinated Colossus isn't scaring ByuN just yet, and he picks up a few zealots for free so far.
Yeah, nice trades here for ByuN. +1 finishing up as well. No mines in this composition means that these zealots will be capable of probably fighting this, especially given the fact there's a couple of sentries to keep this army in place. First 2 mines are going to be joining up, as well as medevac number 3. And for a huge zealot run by coming in here, I don't think there's quite enough for ByuN. ByuN needs to respond quickly, and he does just that. Oh my god, that was brilliant.
Yeah, well, he just had the...
What?
Hello?
How did he do? Why did he do that?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, he had it blocked, the SCVs would have repaired, and he could have slowly just got the units up to deal with this or bring his units back home. Now? Yeah, I mean, now he's just taking damage he didn't need to take, and now actually the rest of herO's army is coming in from the other side. More Zealots reinforcement because of that gateway in the bottom right as well, so this is going to come through. They get in the mix, and Stalker's going to continue to jump on this. Extra Zealots showing up. Isn't enough for herO to really keep attacking. He's killed 14 SCVs already. Drops a couple of force fields just trying to keep this army at bay, and now does split in half a bit better and keep some of the units in range of Zealots, and herO blinking forward is going to continue killing SCVs, and this game is just going to fall apart in an instant for ByuN. Wow. Dismantled in the last 10, 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it honestly didn't look all that bad. And, like, the move was so fast as well. herO takes the series. But yeah, wow. I really didn't expect it to go this poor. Like, the early game wasn't perfect for ByuN, but still felt like he had some chances. I guess herO was playing with just a mere 2 gas, and although they didn't look super all-in, it actually was relatively dedicated, something we definitely should be keeping in mind. But yeah, what a sick game here.
Yeah, what a sick game. What a sick return from herO as well, coming back from 0-2 down, bringing it to the 3-2 victory.